Charles Leclerc is supposed to sign a huge, lucrative, long-lasting contract with Ferrari. Many Ferrari fans are rejoiced with the news, but there are some Leclerc fans who doubt if this is the best decision for him. But why are some fans so critical of Ferrari, and why do they think Leclerc should not sign the contract? Stay until the end of this video to find out. Charles Leclerc is definitely one of the best talents to join Formula 1 in the past 5 to 6 years. He's known for being calm and easygoing off the track, but once he puts on his helmet, he becomes really aggressive. This contrast in his personality has made fans really like him. He started racing in F1 in 2018 with Sauber, and within a year he moved up to become a Ferrari driver after spending some time in the middle of the pack. He's been with Ferrari since 2019. During this period, he partnered with Sebastian Vettel and performed better than him. He even defeated the legendary Lewis Hamilton in a direct competition at Monza, and he's been a leading figure for the Italian team despite his young age. Even with all the praise and amazing achievements, Charles Leclerc is facing an important decision in his career while F1 takes a summer break. There's talk of a 5-year contract extension with Ferrari, but many feel that if he signs the contract, it would be a huge mistake. We can conclude that Charles Leclerc's experience with the team hasn't been as good as hoped. When you think of Ferrari, you think of aiming for the best starting position, victories and championships. This year will mark his 5th year with the team, yet he hasn't had a chance to compete for the championship even once. If we want to be really understanding, we could say that the 2022 F1 Championship was a kind of imitation title battle. Apart from that, there's really nothing comparable. Over these years, Leclerc has definitely demonstrated that he's one of the best drivers in F1. He's shown us the skills that usually lead drivers to win championships. Leclerc is fantastic at qualifying, maybe even the best. He's also skilled in racing and in close battles with other drivers. Every aspect of his skills is at the highest level. The only thing holding back Charles Leclerc's success in F1 is the car he drives and the team's support. Ferrari's mistake with the power unit rules in 2019 caused significant problems for the team in 2020 and 2021. When the team returned to the top in 2022, a big flaw became apparent. While Leclerc was showing that he could compete well against Max Verstappen for the championship, Ferrari demonstrated that they weren't fully prepared. Since 2022, the Italian team's performance has been getting worse, and even in 2023, they still make significant mistakes every weekend. The repeated letdowns affected Charles Leclerc last year, and they're definitely taking a toll on him this season too. Considering that Ferrari hasn't been getting better over the past few years, and with new management still making changes, does it really seem like a good idea for him to commit to the team, especially for such a long time, like 5 years? It really doesn't make sense. Ferrari's most recent championship victory was in 2008. Since then, it's been 15 years without winning any title. In terms of close championship competitions, the Italian team was part of 2, one in 2010 and another in 2012 with Fernando Alonso. When Sebastian Vettel was with the team, he managed to come in second place in the championship twice, but both times the battle for the title faded away around the middle of the season. Charles Leclerc had a similar experience in 2022, where he was in second place for the championship. However, to be fair, the title fight pretty much disappeared after the middle of the season. Looking back at the past 15 years, Ferrari has been part of 2 World Championship contests, but unfortunately, they haven't won either of them. Adding to the problem, the team is currently going through a period of change, and it's quite obvious that there's a lot of political confusion within the team every few years. Is it really a good idea to commit to such a team for a longer period? It seems like the smart answer would be no. Charles Leclerc should be smart to consider not just Ferrari's series of letdowns since 2008. It would really help him to also consider the team's performance from the 1980s onwards. If we look at the past 45 years and leave out Michael Schumacher's time from 1996 to 2006, along with the period until 2008, we can see that Ferrari hasn't been consistently strong or a regular frontrunner. Even some truly legendary drivers like Nigel Mansell, Alain Prost, Fernando Alonso and Sebastian Vettel joined the team but didn't succeed. These names are often considered among the best in F1 by fans. Despite driving for Ferrari, none of them could manage to win the championship with the team. Above all else, Charles Leclerc should take this as a clear sign to consider other choices beyond Ferrari. And most importantly, he should avoid committing to those huge contract extensions. The way forward for Leclerc is straightforward. There's a new boss, Fred Vasseur, who's in charge now. He's making changes, and we should start seeing the impact of these changes in the upcoming season. But before knowing how these changes will work out, it doesn't really seem sensible to trust a team that has consistently not done well. If Ferrari improves by next season, Charles Leclerc could think about staying with the team for a longer time. But if things don't get better, he should start thinking about different choices. Could Mercedes have a spot for him? What about McLaren or Aston Martin? What if Audi wants Charles to lead their entry into F1? Many opportunities could come up next season, so it's a good idea for him to be ready to take advantage of them. However, Carlos Sainz has already been associated with Audi due to his family connections, so that might not be the best option. Personally, I can't help but imagine Charles Leclerc driving alongside Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes team. I believe that team would suit him really well, but circumstances have turned out differently, and now Mercedes is committed to Russell until Lewis decides to stop racing. But what if they suggest swapping Russell for Leclerc? That would be a great solution. In the previous season, Lewis Hamilton was testing different changes and upgrades in the car to figure out what would improve their struggling car. Meanwhile, George Russell used a cautious setup and achieved better results. Later, he started acting a bit overconfident and his ego grew, leading him to make some bold claims. In one interview, he was asked if he was faster than Hamilton, and he answered yes. However, this season has shown that his claim isn't accurate. He's actually quite far behind Lewis in terms of performance. Earlier, there were talks about a possible trade between Ferrari and Mercedes, but it wouldn't involve Russell. Instead, the idea was to have Lewis Hamilton drive for Ferrari and Charles Leclerc would join Mercedes. However, many fans didn't like this news. Now, it's been said that Charles Leclerc has decided not to take Hamilton's place at Mercedes. Leclerc has agreed to a big new contract with Ferrari. Lewis Hamilton, who has won the World Championship 7 times, is in the last year of his contract and hasn't signed a new one yet. This has raised concerns that he might leave to find a car that can compete with Max Verstappen at the front of the grid. A French source called Sportoon has reported that Leclerc has agreed to stay with Ferrari for 2 more years until 2026. There's a chance to extend it to 2029. This would be the longest contract among all the drivers, and it's also a very well-paying deal. Leclerc could earn more than £160 million, with the possibility of getting up to £43 million in the last year. If he extends, it would pretty much end any chance of him leaving for Mercedes in the near future. Toto Wolff, the head of Mercedes' team, is also confident about keeping Hamilton on the team. When someone asked Leclerc if he felt good that top teams were interested in him at the Belgian Grand Prix, he didn't say he wouldn't move. He told Corriere della Sera, "It definitely means that I'm performing well in my job." Meanwhile, Toto Wolff, who leads Mercedes, has made it clear that they're getting closer to extending Hamilton's contract. They just need to work out some final details, even though there were reports this week that Hamilton's request for an ambassador role was turned down. Last month, Wolff said confidently, "I still strongly believe we'll make a deal. They want to make it excellent with every detail sorted out. Sometimes, everything gets carefully planned." He explained that they're not really talking about money anymore. It's about the future and what they want to improve. It's not about how long the contract will be or how much money is involved. They're discussing other important things. Hamilton is also very positive about staying with the Mercedes team. This seems even more likely now that one of the drivers who could have replaced him, Leclerc, has decided to stick with Ferrari until 2026. Do you think he will make the right decision? Let us know in the comments below.